Welcome to Media Spectrum. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're talking about Jurassic Park. So first and foremost, rest in peace to Sam Neill. I'm sure you all heard a couple weeks ago that he passed away, which is why I decided to revisit this movie now. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite films and has been from a very long time. I was a little too young to see it in the movie theater, but I saw it very frequently growing up. And it's a movie I absolutely grew up on. It's a movie that really captured my imagination as a kid. I think a big part of why I love tropical paradise environments so much is the absolute wonder and awe I felt watching this movie as a young kid, watching them pull up to the park. That just always looked incredible to me. And to this day, if I'm going to pick any natural environment I want to live in, it is a tropical environment. I've been fortunate enough to go to places like Thailand and Vietnam and Malaysia, and there were times where I swear when I was just going on a long drive or going out along the coastline and seeing some of the natural environments where I could just hear that Jurassic Park theme playing in the back of my mind. This movie's had a very big impact on me. And I gotta say, as far as summer blockbuster type movies go, this one is about perfect. This one has almost everything I could want in a movie. It's funny, it has action, it has straight up horror. There are some really scary scenes in this movie. It has lots of good actors, it has good writing and good dialogue. There is a theme here to dig into about man playing God and going too far with science and things like that. Very universal messages that have absolutely stood the test of time. As far as the acting goes, again, first off, Sam Neill is absolutely perfect as Dr. Alan Grant. He's like the perfect mix of curmudgeon-y and yet warm but approachable. I mean, he plays this type of guy who's simultaneously very intelligent but also a bit of a Luddite really, really well. And watching him go, from someone who really doesn't like kids to then forming this bond with these two kids by surviving with them is a really, really nice, heartwarming character arc for him. Laura Dern is great as Ellie. She's probably one of the most grounded, pragmatic people in here. There's oftentimes she's kind of the biggest adult in the room, and she gets some pretty great lines also.
Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth.
Perhaps most memorable is Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, who gets to be, as they say, kind of the rock star of the group, the super sarcastic, charming womanizer. He's perfect as this. I would say it's between this or maybe The Fly as my favorite Jeff Goldblum roles. But he is just absolutely perfect in this role, and I'm pretty sure this is the movie that kind of launched him into superstardom more than anything else. Perhaps the most interesting bit of casting is Richard Attenborough as John Hammond. So you have not only the brother of David Attenborough, who's one of the most famous narrators for animal nature documentaries in the world, as the guy trying to bring these dinosaurs back, but he's also most famous for playing Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street. So to take that guy, Santa Claus slash brother of one of the most beloved animal nature activists in the world, and cast him as the villain who's bringing dinosaurs back, that's some pretty ballsy casting, and he plays this character very, very well. There's part of me that does wish he was even a little nastier and uglier like the book version is. In this, it's more like he's just kind of a fool. He has lots of money, he's clearly intelligent in some ways, but he just does not understand the forces he's messing with. And it kind of softens him a little bit. And I do wish they'd gone maybe just a little further. But there is a very clear theme that despite what he says about no expenses being spared, there were clearly expenses spared. The fact that Nedry turns on him, which sets off almost all this chaos, is a direct result of expenses being spared. And you've even got Samuel L. Jackson in here showing up for a cup of coffee. This was, I think, a year or two before Pulp Fiction, if I remember correctly. So this is like right before he launched into superstardom and was still doing just small roles. But even here, he's still good. He has some memorable lines. He shows some flashes of the charisma that would make him one of the biggest superstars in the world. And this is just a movie that is timeless. You can put it on at any time, and I'm happy to watch it. Most of the CGI is held up pretty well, but what really makes it work is the animatronics. Like the fact that they actually made this giant real-life Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Triceratops. Those really, really help ground it and make the CGI work. And I wish that more films today were willing to put the investment into animatronics and not just do it all purely CGI. But that's modern day Hollywood for you. And I mean, this is me coming just a couple days off the Odyssey, which is an almost entirely practical effects affair. And yeah, practical effects over special effects for sure. But this movie does a historically good job at combining those two methods. If I'm looking for negatives, that the last third does kind of lose some steam for me. I was kind of just waiting for it to wrap up. But bear in mind, this is a movie I've seen many, many times over the years. And it's not even that the third act is bad. I think it's just that in the first act and even the middle act, we have so much build up and so much tension and so much discovery and meeting these characters and introducing this new Jurassic Park world. And then the real horror elements of the second act, of the power in the park getting shut down, and the T-Rex going on its rampage, and the Dilophosaurus scene, are all incredibly memorable. And by the time we get to just kind of the pure action of the last third, that's just not as interesting to me personally. And with action, especially if you've seen the movie repeatedly, it does lose some of the tension and impact. So like I said, for me, the third act does lose a bit of steam, but I've seen this movie so many times, I can't dispute that must be a factor in it. Oh, and of course the music. The music, this is maybe my favorite John Williams score overall. Obviously, Spielberg and John Williams worked together a number of times, but I just love his work in this in particular. He hits all the right notes of epic adventure and danger and soaring upliftingness. It just works so well. As far as Spielberg movie goes, Spielberg is a director who I really, really admire and respect and like a lot of his films. I do tend to prefer movies that are a little more gritty, and I even dare say a little more cynical than what he did. Like, I'm a little bit more of a Kubrick guy than a Spielberg guy, but tons of respect for Spielberg. And this might be my personal favorite movie of his. I don't know, at some point I'll do a ranking of his movies and see where it lands, but this would definitely be very, very near the top. And it's kind of wild to think that he did this in the same year as Schindler's List. So he did one of his most approachable, large-scale family adventures, and then did, like, the heaviest, darkest mode adult drama he would ever do. I can't even imagine what a crazy year that was for Spielberg. So, overall, not a lot of notes on this one. This is, like I said, a movie that was highly influential on me. It was highly influential on, I think, pretty much my entire generation. It is one of the greatest, just pure summer blockbuster movies ever made. It has a brain, it has a heart, it has humor, it has scares, it has action and adventure. It has everything I could want in this movie. About the only last thing I can think of to say is I know I haven't really talked about video games too much on this channel. Eventually, as it expands, I do want to talk more about TV series and more about video games, more about any media that can tell a story. How is this not like a video game? Like, I know that there is a Jurassic Park, like, zoo builder type series they've made a couple of, where you can literally build the park and then things can go wrong and the animals can go out. But you're basically playing as, like, John Hammond, essentially, in that case, or that type of character. But I mean something like this, where you go to a dinosaur park and things go wrong and you have to escape. This is like one of the most perfect setups for a video game I've ever seen. And God, we could use some more dinosaur games. I'm just saying, for anyone out there who might possibly be working in the video game world who happens to hear this, we need more dinosaur games. We need some Jurassic Park style ripoff games, because this would make such an incredible premise for a great, great video game. So with that said, those are my thoughts on Jurassic Park. Once again, a big shout out and rest in peace to Sam Neill. It was weird to hear about him passing, because this is a movie that was just such a big part of my childhood. And I know he did well more than this movie. He was excellent as the bad guy in early Peaky Blinders. He was very memorable in Event Horizon. I think he has something like over 150 films accredited to his name. He did Broadway work. He was an extremely accomplished actor. But this movie, for just how huge it was, for how influential it was on many generations, is, I think, his defining legacy. And it's a great legacy to have. So, rest in peace, Sam Neill. Thank you for your work. Thank you for giving us this character. And, yeah, this is a great movie. I definitely recommend watching it sometime during the summer. And that's about all I have to say about this one. So, remember that a like and subscribe really helps the small channel grow. Let me know down in the comments, is this your favorite Spielberg movie? Is this your favorite summer blockbuster? What are other movies that are up there for you? And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, stay sane, stay human.